What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Multiverse Monologues, the podcast show where we like to travel across the multiverses and fandoms that we love to talk about the movies and television shows that accompany those universes. Welcome back to the Marvel Movie Marathon for the last time in a good long while. This is our last one.
Wow.
The Marvel Movie Marathon comes to an end today as the new year rings true in 2024.
Wow.
Happy New Year, folks.
Happy New
We
Year.
bring you our review for Spider-Man Far From Home. But not just me, Ben Rayside, also introducing Mr. Ethan Wensloff. Ethan, how are you doing?
I'm feeling kind of like dysfunctional right now because I feel like we were reviewing Howard the Duck and then I blipped out for 56 movies and now we're here. We're here at Far From Home, all these movies later. This is crazy, guys. We've done, what is this, our 57th?
57th movie.
I think it is.
That's crazy.
Marvel film that we are watching, reviewing, and ranking, guys. This is impressive.
You know what else is impressive? Ethan and I, we started this journey, but it's also impressive that Mr. Micah Het has stayed on with us for each and every one of these Marvel movies. Micah, how are you doing?
You know, I'm a scientific man, and I gotta say, there's only one explanation that makes sense to explain why we all were able to be in every single one of these podcasts. Witches. It's witches.
Witches.
As my man says from this movie.
JB
Smooth.
Says.
Respect on the name.
As we have observed, if you go onto Disney Plus right now, he gets one of the starring credits on Disney Plus over Jacob Batalon, who plays Ned Leeds, and even over Mysterio Jake Gyllenhaal, which is quite something else. JB Smooth, go check him out. He was certainly a feature in this movie, as well as many other things, because as this ends out our Marvel movie marathon, this is the last movie in the year 2019. Marvel movies kind of take a hiatus, but we're here to talk about it. We're here to review it. And going forward, we're going to be talking about a lot of other things. So here's our quick little plug for YouTube. Go check us out there. We've got a video out detailing what is next for the future of our podcast. So go check that out. It is very cool. I'm not going to spoil it here. However, gentlemen, let us get into the multiverse for the very last time and head over to the MCU.
Over 5 years ago, half of all life in the universe, including our own Midtown High, was wiped from existence. But then, 8 months ago, a band of brave heroes brought us back. They called it the blip. Those of us who blipped away came back the same age, but our classmates that didn't blip had grown 5 years older.
Peter Parker returns in Spider-Man Far From Home. Our friendly neighborhood superhero decides to join his best friends Ned, MJ, and the rest of the gang on a European vacation. However, Peter's plans to leave superheroics behind for a few weeks is quickly scrapped when he begrudgingly agrees to help Nick Fury uncover the mystery of several elemental creature attacks. Spider-Man and Mysterio join forces to fight the havoc unleashed across the continent, but all is not as it seems. And that is your plot summary for Spider-Man Far From Home. A little palate cleanser after Endgame. Most people did not see Dark Phoenix, so this was the next movie.
Nobody saw Dark Phoenix in theaters.
That people were kind of very excited for. And something that was very interesting is that promotional material for this movie happened before Endgame came out. So we knew there was a Spider-Man movie coming out. We knew Tom Holland, even though he was blipped, was going to be back in Spider-Man Far From Home. Did it take away from the emotional impact of Endgame? Not at all. Does this movie take away from the emotional impact of Endgame? We're here to talk about it. But I want to shoot this over to Mr. Wensloff first. Where were you in 2019? Were you at the theaters watching Spider-Man Far From Home?
Yes, I was. I saw this movie in theaters. I don't remember which day I saw it in theaters. It had to have been opening night. I'm not sure when, but I'm pretty sure. Fact check me on this if you're listening, Lucas, but I saw it with Lucas Rife back in the day. So shout out him. I saw it with him. And I remember my big takeaway was that was a fun movie. I liked the direction, and holy crap, J.K. Simmons is in the MCU. Look at that. Yeah, I really liked it. And upon this, do we dive into this rewatch right now, or we save that?
Initial thoughts, absolutely.
Initial thoughts, yeah. Upon rewatching it for this marathon, I gotta say, I think this is one of the most underrated Marvel films
Really?
in our entire plethora of movies we watched. And I think that's because going into this, most people focus on what this movie isn't, what it isn't, and what it doesn't do for Spider-Man, as opposed to focusing on what it is and what it does do really, really well. So I'm excited to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that you bring that up because weirdly enough, most of the MCU movies, post Far From Home don't really get the worst rap. They're average, if not really, really good. But this Spider-Man movie really gets very much crapped on among the comic book community, especially now, like as time goes on, like this, there is a very famous video out there by High Top Films saying that this particular Spider-Man movie broke him. And there's a lot of other people who really don't like Far From Home. Micah, are you one of those people? Did you see this movie opening day? You're a big Spider-Man guy.
When this movie came out, I was in Michigan at Lake Ann Camp. So I couldn't see it opening night, but it was Parker. It's always Parker's birthday around Lake Ann. It's always like the next week. So that next week, I just pulled up my Google Maps timeline, and I'm seeing right now, I saw it July 9th at 2:47 right across the street
Holy
at NCG.
cow.
That's crazy.
That is
This is
crazy.
the first one where I was like, wow, I could. So, I saw it, and I remember thinking, Spider-Man. This is kind of like exactly what I wanted out of a Spider-Man movie. I had low expectations going in, just like, yeah, all I wanted was Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was in a movie. So here we go. I mean, the trailers kind of set it up. You knew exactly what we were going to get into when you started watching it. So the first hour, very predictable, very just like, all right, they're on a class trip. You got Mysterio's in the trailers, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
only as a hero.
Yeah. So you saw that and you're like, okay, yeah, this is cool. This is predictable. And that's kind of how it was this rewatch too. I was like, all right, yeah, it's whatever. Feels very bland, very just vanilla. Spider-Man kid high school adventure out in Europe. And then the hour mark hits. And man, it still hits. It still hits, man. I remember just being blown away because I didn't know who Mysterio was. I wasn't like that big. I wasn't a comic book Spider-Man fan. I was a Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man fan. I hadn't seen the Andrew Garfield ones yet. So I was super into this and very invested in the characters. I love Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, and the plot twist was it came out of nowhere for me. It was amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I loved it. I loved it when it dropped, and we'll definitely talk about it. But the CG with all the drones and the projectors, it was mind blowing because you just sit there and you're like, this all seems too good. And then the bar fades. So good. I can't wait to talk about it. But
good.
Yeah. This movie I almost considered watching again in theaters. It was only a couple weeks after they released how for No Way Home they did a More Fun Stuff edition. They did another one like that
Yes.
for this movie with, I think it was an extended post credit.
And a diner beat him up in New York before he goes on his trip.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't see it. So
That scene is actually it was in the trailers very heavily, and then it was just not in the film. And I was like, where
It's in your
is
Blu-ray
this?
special features if you have a Blu-ray.
Okay.
And that was their way. I mean, they gave us more than Endgame did, that's for sure. So it was definitely worth the rewatch to go Far From Home than it was to Endgame. Now, I was going to see it anyway.
But yeah, feelings stayed pretty much the same over the few years. I mean, it's solid entry. Is it my favorite? I don't think so. But you know what? Does a pretty good job.
I agree. This is something that I really, really enjoy, and I think it's very underrated. Very underrated. I was there.
Very much dogged on.
Especially
Way too much.
for the amount of hate it gets. This is a pretty fun movie, I have to say.
And I think that is I'm hoping going away now because people are seeing this trilogy for what it is now. The beginning of Spider-Man, I feel like when people started going into this, they were like, all right, this has to be everything. This is Spider-Man coming of age. And to a certain extent, it absolutely was. But this is Spider-Man before his Uncle Ben moment.
Yeah,
The moment that we all found out that is a Nexus event. What did they call it in
Canon
a canon event?
yeah.
Yes, before his canon
Where the
event happens.
spaghetti connects.
Yes. And so there are a little bit lower stakes. Yes, he doesn't go through all of the motions, but this does a lot for this version of Spider-Man. And it does one of my favorite things about Spider-Man and my favorite thing in this movie, and it's the relationship between Tom Holland and Zendaya. I think they have great chemistry, guys. And I'm going to go out on a limb with a hot take here. I am going to say this is the best couple. That
Spider-Man couple?
have.
Best
Spider-Man couple.
Over Emma Stone
Without
and
a
Andrew
doubt.
Garfield?
I know you're.
I used to say,
Yeah.
I
Andrew
feel like you
Garfield
said
and Emma
that.
Stone. Yes, I like Emma Stone. I think the best as a female lead as the counterpart between them. But I think chemistry wise, I think relationship wise, I root so much for these two.
They work so well together.
Are you
The
pitting this
awkwardness-
up against Miles and Gwen too? From
Absolutely.
Into? Okay.
I think their relationship, I'm not gonna lie, might be the weakest one. It's definitely there, but it's bogged down by them not like
I
being
think least
across.
developed. Yeah.
It's just not developed enough. It's barely given, especially upon rewatch. I'm reminded about how little Gwen Stacy's actually in that first one compared to Across the Spider-Verse. But this one, man, I root for these two so much, and their awkwardness is so like relatable.
So good.
It's
So
spot on for
Relatable.
high schoolers,
it
man.
totally
And,
is.
just the like he's staring at her, she looks at him, he looks away. I think all this stuff with the traveling to getting to where are they? Paris, France? Where do they
All
start?
They're
across
in
Europe.
Italy
Oh,
and
they're
then they're
in,
in Prague.
Italy is their first one.
Yes, Italy or Venice. Venice, right? They're in Venice. Everything where they're just traveling, they're just on a high school field trip. That I found to be like my favorite part of the movie,
Yes.
specifically when they're on the plane and they're getting ready to fly. All the humor there, I loved. And Martin Starr, shout out to him returning as whatever the teacher's name is. He's great. And when Ned goes up, he's like, "Hey, Peter's throwing up. The perfume's making him sick." Martin Starr jumps in action. She's like, "All right, you're going over there. You're going over
You have
there."
a perfume allergy?
And then Brad, the blip stuff they do with Brad is so
That's
funny.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Brad.
I
a lot.
wish they used more blip stuff, honestly, because I think that's what
That's
makes
a
this movie
critique.
unique, because it's so close to the blip. This would be the time to really just dig your hands into all these different little ways you can use
Right.
it. And they don't.
They
as much.
use the blip more of as look at this
punchline.
little inconvenience that happened,
Yeah.
as opposed to, holy crap, this was life changing.
Here's
It
how
was
we're
more
going to
like,
introduce a character that's going to be
Here's
the
Brad.
same age. And
Yes, but this movie is also set many months after
8 months.
Endgame. 8 months after, in fact. And you think like, oh my gosh, this should be a huge thing for these teenagers. But think back, I mean, you deal with a huge event, COVID happens. And yeah, the first week it's like,
same thing, right?
oh, yeah, I
okay,
guess so.
the whole world shuts down.
They even
though.
kind of described it the same way, like when Happy was growing his blip beard.
That's what it is.
Growing like the
it
COVID
just
beards.
becomes part of your life. I like how
Lockdown beards.
natural it is. Like when they're on the plane, like waitress, he blipped, so technically he's not 21,
he's
he's 16. Like that's
"Wait,
how
wait."
you would use it as a high
Yeah.
schooler. You just adapt to whatever it is because you're just that young, and it's not like you don't have the perspective yet of all these years of living normally, and then it just to an older person, yeah, for sure. And that's where it's dealt more with in those other Marvel films. But this is just a teenager. Guess what? I got one thing on my mind, and it's trying to impress this girl over anything. And I'm not mad at that, even though I recognize that some people
I
might
think
be.
for me, it's 50-50. In that first hour, some of it really, really works for me, and some of it just kind of like slips past.
Like
And
what? What specifically?
I'm thinking of when they're just kind of right when they enter Venice and they're just doing like kid things. They're just like, it's a montage of like with the birds and with the camera and with that didn't really work as well for me. I feel like they could have cut that whole first hour in half, and we still would have gotten, we wouldn't have spent as much time with them, sure, but they could have had more quality, like, iconic things to do there. They're just kind of like, we're taking pictures, and now we're with birds, and now we're in this place. Like, if they had more places like Peter going into that jewelry shop and buying that thing, that would be cool. More things that are specific, more small, more like localized. So there's Ned and what's her face, and they're in the boat. That's cool. That's like, all right, we're in Venice. That's cool. I don't know. I just wish they did more.
They had to fit in the Shield Nick Fury aspect of it as well.
Yeah, but they have the time. I feel that they really take their time in that first hour, and that's an artistic choice that just doesn't agree with me. And I totally get it. It's a high school thing. You gotta. That's how it was for Homecoming too. I remember watching Homecoming this last time, and the first hour was very like, all right, this is the high school era. This is like, everything's cool. There's some high school drama, things are going on, but like nothing too serious. And then the last half, Vulture turns around in the car with the gun. That's what happens. And it's exactly what happens in this movie too, because exactly on the hour mark, it's revealed that Mysterio's a bad guy. So to me, John Watts was doing that. Like, that's what he was going for. And I respect that. It's just, for me, I feel the first hour could have been used more plot wise, instead of setting up this calm, like, peaceful high school, like everything's okay environment. You know what I mean?
One of the things that stood out to me, and this goes to your point, is actually a lot of people critique No Way Home for being it feels kind of disconnected from this, but John Watts, who directed all three of these, he has a very similar formula for each one of his films. There is the beginning to his films, which is really just the setting you into the world of where it is now, and this is Europe. The first one has it in high school, and the second one is, oh my gosh, the third one is everyone knows who Spider-Man is. Yeah. And then there's always a point in each one of these films where it takes a 180 heel turn. The first is when Vulture's revealed to be the father of Spider-Man's love interest.
This is a little later. It's a little later in the movie, in Homecoming.
It's
right
not
around
halfway.
The midway.
It's not halfway, but there's always that moment, that heel turn moment where everything kind of just changes. And in this one, it's Mysterio. In No Way Home, obviously, it is when all the three Spider-Man come in, and the hallway sequence, I mean, it kind of happens in a bunch of moments in No Way Home, but there is a heel turn,
The Uncle
That's
Ben moment
some neat trick.
the Aunt May moment, I think, is
right, that moment. But all of them have that specific huge, oh my gosh, now the movie's totally different.
This is my take. So John Watts was open when he got the Homecoming gig, that the next movie he wanted to do was a high school coming of age story. And I think, for me, at least with these three movies, that's where he's at his best. Like, you're talking about how the heel turn at the hour mark is where the movie gets good for you. Mm-hmm. That's where it starts to turn for me. That first hour is what I love. I love the coming of age, the awkwardness, I would take a whole movie with, like, this is just me with these and the characters. I'd take a whole movie without Spider-Man with this universe. That's just how I think John Watts does this so well. And you feel that, and that could be a critique where, okay, the most appealing part of this movie isn't the Spider-Man stuff, to me at least. So I really like his coming of age stuff, because you feel the passion behind that a ton.
What else has John Watts done? Has he done any like pure coming of age? Like,
well, I don't know, because he said the next one he wanted to do was would have been right before Homecoming. So I think Homecoming and this movie kind of took that
he hasn't done
story
much.
He wanted to do. Yeah. So not a lot under his belt.
Oh, nice. He did the Onion News Network, 10 episodes of that.
This is an example of a director that Marvel took who didn't really do much, and I would say that really paid off. Mm-hmm. I really like. Yeah. Dude, this movie is really good. Can I just say something? Jake Gyllenhaal is an absolute treat in this movie. Yeah. I don't know if speaking from the MCU point and the Raimi movies, I don't really know that we've ever gotten a terrible villain.
Venom. Eddie
Yeah,
Brock,
okay.
or
All right, you know what?
Topher Grace Venom.
I take that back.
Not
He is
good.
pretty terrible.
Electro?
He is pretty terrible. Not the Amazing Spider-Man has. I would say almost.
Yeah, Electro's pretty buns.
Electro is not great. Lizard is not that great either.
Goblin.
Rhino, bro. Goblin.
Goblin from
We're not going to talk
Tasm
about the
2.
Amazing Spider-Man. I
Rhino,
don't know.
yeah.
Ooh.
All the freaking.
More than half are pretty not good.
Am I wrong though? Jake Gyllenhaal.
Really
he's
good.
so
Yeah.
fantastic.
He
in
is
this.
definitely in the upper half. Yeah.
I think it's even funnier with the lack of care the actor gives to the MCU as a whole. You watch him in any interview. What are your guys' favorite Marvel movies? Tom Holland's there giving a genuine answer. He's like, I think the first Iron Man. And then Jake Gyllenhaal's like, oh yeah, that one. Just saying whatever Tom Holland says. Jake Gyllenhaal's never seen a Marvel movie. I go on record thinking that.
Wow.
Totally, like that's great because he bounces off Spider-Man. I think
Tom
really,
Holland,
really
yeah,
well.
really well.
Like genuinely.
I love their dynamic. Like
When-
the balcony scene
Yeah.
when he like flies up and he's like, "Hey kid, you know, you're gonna do a great job."
You're
was great.
actually
I love
endeared
that.
to the character of Mysterio. Like
Yeah.
you fit like
That's why the twist works so well for
he's
me because
going
he's so
into-
genuine.
I'm surprised that like I completely knew that Mysterio was a villain in the comics, and I was like, all right, eventually he's going to turn into a villain in this movie. I'm just waiting for that moment to happen in this.
The fights before the twist kind of felt pointless to me because I knew where the twist was going. All of the like, there was no threat for me that, you know, anything. But you know
It's world
that's
building.
that's every movie on a rewatch. Sure, that you know what's going to happen, but I felt like there wasn't any like hints that there could have been a projectionist or something going on. And that's what makes a twist rewatchable is putting these little sprinkles of.
If you look, all the damage that's done in those things are bullet holes. So,
Oh, really? I didn't look at that.
They actually do damage. They actually do damage to the surrounding area. It's not all just a production. Like it has to be
Yeah.
real in some way. But
I didn't look at the bullet holes. That's a good catch.
it's
But I love Mysterio as a character. I love the idea
great.
of all of these Stark Industries employees that we've seen a couple of them too.
yes.
I mean, Mysterio
So
was
what-
kind of there.
What do we think about his cover story coming from a different multiverse? I think Skrull Nick Fury is a little too stupid in this moment.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
he is a
the post-credit
Skrull.
scene kind of revealed. How was I supposed to know?
and
This
he
is a-
even says that at like the end he was like, I don't know, I was kind of wary of this from the start, you know. Although Maria Hill does go back on him, he's like he had no idea.
Yeah.
But he is a Skrull. He's not Nick Fury, so
Talos.
it's kind of viable, I would say.
Yeah.
But if it was me and I didn't know Mysterio, him coming from another universe or another world,
Right.
like I eat that up.
I
I'm
completely
okay.
forgot about that line, and I bought it for a second because I forgot where they came from. I was like, okay, yeah, Mysterio. Yeah, sure, yeah, that's sick. All right, he comes from a different multiverse.
I did
forgot
believe that at first.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so this is how they're going to do Mysterio in this. He's
Yeah.
going to be a villain, but he's from another universe. The multiverse does exist. This was the first time I'm like in the MCU.
And
it's
this
acknowledged.
is post Spider-Verse, so we're aware of like a.
But we had no
multiverse.
in the
idea.
MCU,
We
though,
had no idea it was going to show
Right.
up in the MCU.
and they revealed it in the trailers. And New Rockstars, I remember watching countless breakdowns of, holy cow, this is another universe. And then they kind of they like make fun of it. You know, after a while, they're like, everyone would have bought that. It's exactly what people are buying right now. Great cover story. I like that whole sequence of him revealing the monologue. You even get the Christmas Story kid in this. That epic sequence.
built this in a cave
Yes, dude.
with a box of scraps.
And I think rounding out Mysterio, the illusion sequence is probably one of the best sequences in our marathon. I'd go on record to say that scene is amazing.
Define sequence.
The whole, from the moment Spider-Man lands in that CGI world and Mysterio just beats him up.
Pretty cool.
Oh yeah, pretty
I
cool.
love that sequence. Even though it's all CGI, I think it's so impressively like well done that I don't know.
It gives you the Doctor Strange trippiness of the mirror dimension mixed with like the whoa.
If you're putting Mysterio in a Marvel film,
This is a good way.
that exactly is what you need to have. A
something like that.
masterful illusion sequence. And I hope that's not the last we see of him.
Right.
I really hope that we see Mysterio again, even though it's been
'Cause we could.
many movies and he's not dead, right?
Well, maybe there's a way that he'll remember him. Maybe that'll be the connection. That would be cool if they bring him back for the 4th movie and that's like he actually is from a different multiverse or something. And
Then they go back.
I'm grasping for straws here,
Backtrack.
but
What the
maybe
rumors-
they'll use his technology, the barf.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and then it'll tap into the memory cortex and it'll extract the Peter Parker's Spider-Man. Or
There's a lot of
speaking
ways.
of the
Yeah.
Peter Parker reveal, this is the first cameo of a multiverse cameo that we've had.
Speaking of
J. Jonah
Other
Jameson.
than Stanley. Other than Stanley.
Other than Stan
J.
Lee, but
Jonah
this is
Jameson.
this was huge.
That was huge at the
This
time.
was gigantic, guys. Like, if they had to figure out a way to top Endgame,
J.K. Simmons, baby.
dude, J.K. Simmons,
You do
like-
not recast J.K. Simmons. You don't.
no.
And
Or the
why-
guy in the Spider-Man game is okay.
He is.
TASM, the Amazing Spider-Man movies were too afraid to
Yeah.
even put a J. Jonah. Like, you have one scene of Andrew Garfield emailing J. Jonah Jameson. Are these pictures good, son? No, they're buns, man. But no, Mysterio, before we jump on to J. Jonah. No, go ahead.
No.
Before we do that, like, Mysterio is super cool in this, and they do they do him a little differently than what you typically see from him. He's more of a theatrics guy. Like, there's a great comic run of Daredevil where I'm not going to reveal the run because I want people to read it organically, but this whole run, there's a mystery afoot. You're like, what the heck is happening? And it's
gonna read
revealed
those.
in the end that Mysterio's been pulling the strings, and
Really?
it is super cool, this run. But Mysterio's a really cool villain, but they do him a little differently in this with tech and drones, whereas it's very like he's typically more of an illusionist.
Yes.
And theatrical.
He has that power.
Yeah.
It's not just all tech based, which you know,
It was a cool way to ground him, though.
Same thing with Vulture and Homecoming. It's more just based on Tony's tech, which is a big critique that a lot of
Iron
people have.
Boy Jr.
Spider-Man has it. All the villains have it. It would be nice to have a villain that is actually organically a Spider-Man villain. Another critique that people have is that this movie and the Spider-Man movies in general just play off of Tony Stark too much. Like, there's no character hates Spider-Man. They all hate Iron Man.
It's
you know,
the-
so it's never personal.
It's the world. It's the world, man. Tony starts it all. Everything's going to tie into Tony. And I think that we really needed something that paid homage to Tony after Endgame. Like, everywhere I look, I see his face. All that stuff is really good, and it symbolizes moving on. And it's for the next Tony Stark. This is your gift.
Yep.
And to me, I really felt like this movie, especially now where the fan base is, this movie channels a lot of that energy that fans have towards the MCU, where there's that press conference sequence where Tom Holland's Spider-Man is being interviewed, and they're like, "Are you the new Tony Stark? Who's the leader of the Avengers? Who are they now?" That's so much. That's us as fans.
Yeah, and then he
talking to
says,
the MCU.
"Can I please just have more friendly neighborhood questions?"
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that because it tells you exactly what he's thinking right now. He always just wanted to be that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and then he was ripped into space, and now here we are.
You know, something about Tom Holland in that suit.
Iron
when
Spider.
when he was sitting next to or when he was standing next to Aunt May, he just kind of looks boxy.
CG.
Like,
Yeah.
not
I think
Well,
he's
I don't
supposed to
know
look
if
kind
it's
of.
CG.
You look
but
at the
like-
original, trailer shot. Even he's not in that suit.
yeah, it's like, just in general, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is not like he doesn't have that typical Spider-Man build, tall and lanky. I don't know, there's something about the look that doesn't agree with me.
If we're talking look, I think he gets two really cool looks in this movie. I really like the night monkey suit is really unique, and then the ending suit, it's more of a navy blue as opposed to our brighter blue. I like that. It's pretty slick.
I think it's black.
It's a very dark blue.
Close.
Yeah,
it's pretty. Yeah.
Are we because I'm gonna push back on that. I think it's black.
Uh-oh.
Here's your minifig. The minifig is black. Oh, here, wait. I'm not talking into the mic, guys.
I brought the minifig, and I'm pretty sure that minifig is black.
Get the flashlight out.
What? That also could be a misprint. But
misprint.
Who has a
rare?
Pull up a picture, Mike, on the screen. This is gonna
got it right here.
It's gonna kill us all.
All right.
I'm almost certain it's black.
You could be right.
Well, it's the No Way Home suit, right? Or
it's
no. This is Far From Home new suit.
Because he has it in No Way Home.
Just type in No Way Home Far From Home black suit, and that'll
the black suit.
That'll show it up.
Because I guess it is black, but
it's black.
It looks kind of navy. Either way, it's a slick look.
It really
slick.
is, man.
I like it a lot.
You run this a lot in Spider-Man PS4. It's like one of the suits you're not ashamed to wear.
No, I only wore the Toby suit.
I mean, okay, that's definitely fair. That suit.
As soon as I unlocked that one, that was the only one I wore till post game when I started unlocking other things. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a cool suit, Toby suit.
That is sweet. He does have really cool suits. This Spider-Man, no complaints with any of the suits. I don't think that he has. I like them. Some people say it's over designed.
What about the Mardi Gras suit? The little Mardi Gras mask.
I really like that because it's just Tom Holland running around with a
He said that's his favorite scene that he's ever done as Spider-Man.
Well, if you look at it, it's him jumping around like that scene where he runs across those posts on the water. That looks really. I think it's really impressive visually. I know a lot of it is CG.
Because that's him.
It's him.
They hung him up and they ran him across the poles.
That scene where he gets pulled on the bridge and hits the side of the bridge and all the water dumps on him. They did that shot many, many times, and he had a blast doing it. Yeah.
Blast of water.
Blasted doing it. Yeah. Dang. Okay. I want to go back to Micah talking about J. Jonah Jameson.
Yes.
Because that moment in theaters, that's one of the last great, I would say, post-credit scenes that we've seen in a good long while.
Yeah.
Because you're totally forgetting about Harry Styles' Eros. Come on now.
Yes, I am forgetting about that actually, and that says a lot.
Yeah, faceless Blade.
Well, recently, as in this week, James Gunn went on record saying that there's been a lot of, pardon my French, cameo porn around.
That's a word to use.
That is true.
It is the word.
Which we got to pretend.
And I think this is the floodgates.
Pretend for a second that James Gunn isn't also a victim of that. Come on.
Yeah, but this, I feel, is the source of, I mean, it's the source of the beginning of the multiverse cameos, right? In live action, at least. And it just opens up the floodgates to literally anyone can cameo.
What's awesome about this cameo is he wasn't brought in via multiverse shenanigans. He just is this universe, J. Jonah Jameson. And also, this guy has something to say. J. Jonah Jameson is revealing Peter Parker's identity. That's so cool. And
who better
to do that? Yeah.
He is such a good get, especially he elevates No Way Home. Like, there's a lot of things that elevate No Way Home, but he is one of them. We get that epic sequence of him talking, like monologuing about what it means to be Spider-Man. Everywhere Spider-Man goes, chaos.
It's a post-credit scene that gets you hype.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Going back to that.
And that's what a lot of post-credit scenes don't do. Like, especially on a rewatch, which post-credit scenes are getting you hype nowadays? And I'm not talking about, there's no movie, there's no project announced for this post-credit scene. I'm talking about just like what adds to the story that you're already watching that teases a future involvement. Like, what have we seen recently that's been hype at all? And this is one of the last of the greats that I've seen in a while.
Well, speaking of what we did just see, a post-credit scene that in this movie was finally paid off was the Nick Fury in space.
Yes.
Finally got that done.
Oh. Can't wait to see him in the next project.
Dude, I can't wait to
Which
see him
one's
in the
that?
Marvels.
4 years later.
It's either
the Marvels?
Secret Invasion or the Marvels. Either way,
Chronologically, it's the Marvels, right?
something good.
I'm confident that Secret Invasion was supposed to come out post Captain Marvel.
When is Secret Invasion
post.
timeline wise?
I think it's supposed to be Secret Invasion and then the Marvels, but it's so loose right now you can't even tell.
Their
Timeline
list.
is
I don't even
gigantic.
think they know their list. But it's revealed that Nick Fury is a Skrull. Kind of
And
changes the
Colby
way.
Smulders.
And Colby Smulders.
Yeah,
yes.
she's a scroll.
Who's kind of there in this movie. She's just there.
When was her last like good role?
Winter Soldier, probably.
She had a good role. Did she? What does she do in that movie?
She saves them in that truck.
Right. You're right.
And she helps. I mean, when you say good, has she ever had a good
I think she's
role?
pretty fun in that first Avengers movie.
That's
Because
true. Yeah.
you're like introduced to Shield before you're really introduced to the Avengers in that movie.
She was supposed to get a much bigger role. There's actually a deleted scene in Avengers where she is kind of like, they hint towards her being like a rival, like an opposite to Nick Fury, who loves the Avengers. She's going to be the one who like, nah, I don't like these people.
Well, spoiler alert, they never give her anything to do because they kill her at the beginning of Secret Invasion. So
oh man, so emotional.
good for that. Yeah, good. Take a few of the good characters that we like, and they kill a couple in Secret Invasion that you're actually both post credit scene characters. I think they kill in this movie. Good
Secret
on that
Invasion
show.
is the end of the timeline so far.
Okay,
So
it's
it is.
the end of our Marvel fandom, I guess.
Oh wait, I don't know where the Marvels
Definitely
was.
ended
though.
my-
That's symbolism
Marvel
right
I guess
there.
the Marvels is not on the timeline.
Well,
Sure.
Oh, remember how when the sequel trilogy came out, they're like, wipe this from canon?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
gone.
they already wiped the
It's
Marvels from
gone.
canon.
I don't know. It's not on the MCU fandom
there.
Wikipedia.
They
No,
stopped
they just
reporting.
haven't figured out where it fits yet.
They're like, wait, this isn't the same
No,
Nick Fury.
They have to tweak the Blu-ray release, and then they'll put it out there with a few minor alterations to make it fit.
There you go.
Right.
With a Brie Larson
Jane-
intro.
Change a statue's color.
Hey guys.
Throw some.
Oh,
She'll
Hey,
do like the
guys.
cap sitting in the chair.
Thanks
thing.
for watching this movie. I love you guys.
sorry. It's really hard not to just crap on Marvel, from where they have gone, because this. I mean,
Well, we're talking about in a very positive light to what this movie
Yes.
is, because this movie takes a character and does something with it,
And it has fun in universe.
Yeah.
I want to point out the school broadcast they did at the beginning with the in memoriam.
There is a deleted scene that they build up that even further.
Yeah,
but
it's so great. I love just how they threw together this thing, and it's like all these stock
just the
pictures.
green
and,
screen is so bright on
oh,
their face.
I love it. I
Yes.
love it. And that was, I think, one of my favorite parts of Homecoming, and I'm glad that they brought it back for this.
yes. Another really great character in this is Zendaya. I think she is great.
I think, yeah, keep going, keep going.
Her interplay off of Spider-Man is really good. I like that she kind of has been stalking him, and it makes sense
That was good.
that she would figure out that Spider-Man is who he is, especially in this day and age. It's kind of hard.
With how
It's kind of hard to keep that a secret nowadays.
everywhere Peter goes,
You know-
Spider-Man is there.
This came out on a Tuesday.
No, watching
that's
you-
that's not Spider-Man. That was Night Monkey.
That's on the news, and the news
Yeah,
never lies.
Never lies.
that's a fun payoff with the.
Their awkwardness, especially my favorite sequence with them is when she goes and sits down at the theater, and all Spider-Man wants to do
Yes.
is go on this vacation and spend some time with MJ. And at the theater, she's there, and Brad sneaks up. Oh man, I hate that guy. And he has to look at her. And the first time I saw this, and even now it rings true, is that is the essence of Spider-Man.
Yes.
Him sitting there choosing the responsibility over what he really wants. What's going to help? It's going to save everyone here. But man, do I want to spend time
It's
with
what Spider-Man 2 did so well with Tobey
Yes.
Maguire is
Yeah.
you have to sacrifice your own selfish wants, your own selfish needs, your own desires for the greater good, for that responsibility that you have. And they sell it really well in this movie by making it practical. Like he just wants a summer vacation.
Yeah.
You could call that selfish, but that's just called being a man, being a boy,
Yep.
wanting to have the girl of your this girl you're crushing on, and he just wants to spend time with her. And you got Brad here who blipped forward and is a hunk of a man.
Just a drop in the bucket compared to the next movie, though, man. Because like,
Yes.
we think that we've seen Spider-Man sacrifice it all for.
Slowly he
It's
learns
amazing
more and more
how he wrote
responsibility over what he wants as a person.
Yeah.
And I mean, it all comes full circle in No Way Home, but in this one, in the first one, it's more about his high school life in general and just choosing to be that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But in this one, they really delve into the relationship side. He has a relationship, but this one is much stronger. He definitely, you can tell he wants this relationship more. He wants to be with Zendaya. He's got this whole plan laid out. American Bachelors in Paris or whatever with Ned, who then ends up with Betty Brant, which I think is a great running
that
gag.
stuff is so good.
That,
Oh
yeah,
my
that was
gosh.
hilarious.
Come on.
I feel like for the first hour, though, there are different. All of the school buddies have their one trick. I mean, that one teacher's got the witches. Like he just kept saying, "Yeah, there's the witches," you know.
JB Smooth.
And then Ned and Betty Brant, they've got their thing going on, and Flash has his live stream, and what's his name, Blake? He's just always up in Zendaya and
Brad.
whatever his name
Brad.
is. Brad, yeah.
I forgot too.
The
Brad
fla-
Blake. His name's Brad Blake, isn't it?
I don't
It
know.
might be.
I think it's Brad Blake. Anyway,
I'll go with it.
and then there's just extra school person A and B, and
I know. There's so many extras. Like,
yeah,
who are you?
And then all of a sudden, at the hour mark, once again, I feel like Zendaya figured out MJ's character, or maybe she was just given more lines or something. She feels like a different character after, like, the bridge scene. I'm talking about the bridge scene. Once that happens, she just feels so much more natural around, and that could be a character choice.
That's part of the character too.
It
where
could be, yeah. And if that's a character choice, then great. That's awesome. I just feel like it's a different character.
A heel turn.
All of a sudden,
And
the heel turn is more
yeah.
than just plot. It's more than
that's
it's
very,
characters
That's
too.
like with people too, though. When
Yeah.
when you're first getting to know them,
And now that I'm saying it, it makes sense.
Come standoffish, but then once you get to see who they are,
Yeah.
really you understand them for all their quirks and interesting, choices they make. You're like, that's still a person I can love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something I said in Homecoming too, is that Zendaya's character in Homecoming acts absolutely nothing like she does in No Way Home. And yeah, there's 2 movies in between there, but like at all, she's got these character quirks. You know what I'm talking about? Like the ones where she's acting awkward and stuff, but I don't feel like she acts awkward at all
Yeah.
in No Way Home.
She
And
grows.
yeah, that could be
She
great.
grows.
Yeah.
They're freshmen.
And I
Well,
can totally
think
see that.
maybe, yeah, the
They're
end of
sophomores in
freshman
this
year.
one.
And then in that one, they're seniors. They're graduating. They're going
Mm-hmm.
to college, which I don't know timeline wise how that really works out. But there are seniors in there, and it's perfectly acceptable. So as you go, as you become more sociable, I was definitely awkward as a freshman, and then as a senior, I definitely grew in 4 years. So
Just a bit.
She grows in this movie. That's the coming of age part.
in that way, yes. I really
Flip
wish
the switch.
that
Dink.
going back now with a hindsight view, I wish that she had been more of a character in Homecoming. I really
Yeah.
wish that.
Totally.
I think she should have been more of a character even in this movie at the beginning.
In No Way Home, it's so big and so bombastic, and then their relationship kind of takes, it kind of just has to when you bring in 2 other huge Spider-Man characters. But I wish they would have developed her more. Their relationship, I hope that's not the end of it.
Maybe they could have even added in the beginning a little bit of return. Like maybe she's got, other than looks, other than glances, right? Maybe a little bit of a yearn. Hey, could I sit next to Peter? Can I, and then the teacher's like, no, you have perfume on or something. Like that would have been a cool little, I don't know. Just thinking of ways that we could have improved the relationship with the 2 in the first hour.
I also really like the scene on the bridge when they talk about a conversation that we've had on this podcast many times with Spider-Man relationships. Do you only date him because he's Spider-Man?
That's true.
They have that conversation on the bridge. Were you only paying attention? Were you only watching me because you thought I was Spider-Man, and yeah, why else would I be watching you? You know, the kid
Does
is no
she-
other reason.
no
You
other
know?
reason.
Does she
Yeah,
take the
right.
leap now just because he's Spider-Man, or
I guess that is up for debate.
That's always a debate once the girlfriend knows, though. Like, come on, it's
But I don't think
that's
so.
why I'd be
I
Spider-Man's
don't think
best
so.
friend.
That's
That's why I'd be Ned in that situation, is because he's Spider-Man.
why I'm friends with you, Micah.
Hey, don't.
You're Spider-Man.
Are you revealing this right now?
Oh,
Right here, right now? Cut this out.
New year, new me.
Oh.
I am Iron Man.
Very nice. Do we want to say anything else about Far
So
From Home?
I think
No
that-
Stan Lee cameo.
Oh yeah, no Stanley.
First MCU live action with no Stan Lee.
The
Rest in peace.
deleted scenes are always worth watching with these John Watts films because
They're good.
what always gets cut from these movies aren't dramatic moments. They're just great comedic bits
Yeah.
that get cut from this movie, and there's a ton on the Blu-ray if you go watch the special features. But all of Flash's live stream footage that's available on the Blu-ray.
He actually recorded.
Yeah, he was
Wow.
actually recording, so it's really cool.
That's
You
awesome.
get to see him practically on set and stuff, so that's really
Dude,
fun.
that is really cool.
But one big critique I have, there's a sequence that every time I watch this, I hate
Oh, I know
with
which
a
one.
passion. It is the rest stop.
Yep.
The
I was
woman's
gonna bring
like,
that up.
the woman's like, take off your clothes. Get naked, teenage boy. Get naked in front of me right now. Okay, that doesn't need to happen. And then the sequence where the drone comes and attacks the
I hate
bus.
that whole
I
sequence.
hate that whole sequence because it's so stupid, and that's where a lot of the critique comes in. Like, why would you give this guy glasses? Why would you give this boy the Edith glasses? But that's kind of the point of it. Tony Stark trusts Peter. Yeah, it's a big responsibility, but with great power comes great responsibility. So that's his lesson to learn here. And I just think that sequence is really stupid where they're like, let's demonstrate how dangerous the drones can be. But then also how none of his classmates see him jump out of like a llama or whatever he says, a
does
sheep.
stretch.
It
Yeah.
is
So-
to build up the fact that Peter doesn't trust himself
Yeah.
with it. And that's fair, but I think even to go back to the get naked scene, it doesn't pay off anywhere.
That's all-
Like there's the one scene where the guy's like, I had a picture of him. He was naked.
Right, it's
well,
all-
let's not take pictures of people in the bathroom. Like, that's it?
It's all there
Gotta stop
to
doing that.
It's all there for Brad to
funny,
get
though.
the picture. It's for him to get the picture, and then for Peter to try to delete the picture with the glasses, have the drone come in, destroy the bus. That's why he has to randomly get naked in front of this chick. When in the context of the movie, it doesn't even make sense.
Why would he get the suit on in the first place?
Right, the suit is gonna fit.
Try it
Suit
on.
fits,
Right.
wear it.
Or here, go into that room and try it on.
The suit always fits.
Take off your pants.
eventually.
Hey, all I will say is that they are in Europe.
They
Things-
win in
things-
Rome. You know.
Things operate a little differently
Who
in
knows?
Europe. You know,
Yeah.
there's that scene from Home Alone, right?
In Europe.
No. What's his face is
Do
talking
French
about.
babes shave their pits?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the scene I'm talking about. They get out new beaches, not in the winter. See, they do things differently in Europe.
Dude,
all
Buzz, man.
right? Buzz is the
Cinematic,
best.
great character.
Yes. With that, though, I say we go into favorite character
Yeah,
in
let's do
Spider-Man
it.
Far From Home. Micah, do you have a favorite character? Ensemble cast. There's a lot of people to choose from. I mean, we didn't even talk about Happy Hogan. John Favreau's great in this.
I don't know if he'll.
Tony used to eat
get a pick, though.
cheeseburgers.
I will give him a shout out though.
Micah, we know you want Marissa Tomei. We know you want Marissa Tomei.
Oh, doggy. Oh, man. Why'd you bring her up again?
We need to get a towel. Micah's dripping sweat for you audio listeners.
Marissa Tomei.
Aunt May.
I'm going to go with Jake Gyllenhaal. Man.
Yes.
Oh, dang. He's dripping more
Playing
sweat.
both sides here, I guess, today.
It wasn't you, it was me.
He was, you know what? I really liked his connection with Tom Holland, the synergies there. Just the way that, yeah, I mean, I told you at the beginning, like, I didn't know that he was going to be a villain. I knew nothing about Mysterio going into this movie, and he plays that perfectly. I had no doubts until that hour mark where it flips. And yeah, it's a little exposition dumpy where they're in the bar and everyone's sitting slackjaw like, what? He was a villain the whole time? But it works for me. I really like that scene. I really like how they just bring all these little bit of cameo porn, right? But that was the first time they did it. And it worked. It worked for me. So I like his power set. I like how he doesn't have powers, but he uses the blackmail as his powers. That's cool.
Yeah.
Did he actually die at the end? Yeah, right?
I don't think he did.
No?
I'm going to go.
heavily debated.
There is a file that Christmas Story Boy takes out of the computer. Download complete.
Christmas Story Boy.
And
Why not Elf Boy?
I mean, he's certainly there at the end. I would say he's not dead.
Okay.
I'm saying he's not dead. He's coming back eventually.
Yeah, they can use him again.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan, who's your favorite character?
Favorite character, I'm gonna go Ned Leeds. I like Ned a lot in this movie, and
Guy in the chair.
the guy in the chair. I love the fun energy he brings, and I think all the comedic moments he's kind of at the center of it. I love the coming to age story with this guy, and Ned is a center of that, where I think John Watts does that so well, the coming of age story. And deleted scenes are definitely worth watching with these. But I think he has a lot of good comedic bits, and he's like his stuff with Betty Brant really is so funny to me. Peter,
Babe.
Peter,
Babe.
I got a dual headphone adapter. But yeah, he leaves him at the Opry. He has one job for Ned: stay here, okay, stay here. And then he's like, no, I think his name's Night Monkey. Night Monkey. Night Monkey.
What
It's
a dated joke with the dual headphone adapter.
He is great. Yes, I guess a great
Yeah.
pick.
So I like Ned Leeds. I good energy
I
he
love
brings
the
to these
hotel room doorway.
Where they're
I think
changing?
that was my favorite. He's like, oh, nice costume for the costume party.
Ultimate wingman. Come on. Are you kidding me?
Or when he's sleeping,
Like, how would she not know? When,
he gets darted, and
Costume party.
when Nick Fury darts him, and everyone
Dude, that was
keeps
like the
coming
best thing of my
coming to the
life.
door.
Nick
Yeah.
Fury. But it wasn't even Nick Fury.
But he doesn't need to know that.
No,
Okay?
no.
Don't burst Ned's bubble. All
Give
right.
him-
Oh,
Give it to him. Come on.
Although Ned's at MIT
there are
right
some
now.
scenes that don't work as well because that's Talos. Oh man,
Every scene.
like okay,
Yeah.
the whole
all of
movie.
yeah, yeah. I just need another Nick
Like-
Fury in his armored Suburban
Yeah, I know.
tanking down the strength.
Bring back
the streets of.
Winter Soldier Nick Fury.
Oh.
Come on.
Bring. We could go down a rabbit hole there.
Of what we need to bring back.
Yeah. I think my favorite character is JB Smoove. No.
JB
Smooth. No, I'm
MA.
gonna take a
MA.
moment here to shout out
Aunt May.
Tom Holland.
Oh,
Sorry, not Aunt May, Micah. It's not gonna be Aunt May. I think he gets a very bad rap. He is easily, I think, nowadays considered to be the worst of the three. He comes in last on a lot of people's lists, and I really just, I gotta disagree. His acting ability, the way he has shaped this character to fit his own performance, I think works really well. He has excellent chemistry with everyone in the movie, and I think he plays a young high school teenage Peter Parker very well, especially in this movie. I think I would go so far as to say this is better than Homecoming by a little bit. I would say I really like Far From Home, and I think a lot of it is due to Tom Holland, and I think he's very overrated because he gives a very great performance in this one. But Tom Holland is my favorite in this.
okay.
Favorite scene.
Oh,
Favorite scene
Favorite scene. What, me?
in Far From Home, Micah.
me?
Me?
Who? You want me?
I liked. I'm gonna take the balcony scene with
Great pick.
Spider-Man and Mysterio, just because it just knocked me out of the park. That was the first moment where I was like, all right, there's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yep.
There he is. I was waiting for it, and finally the acting chops come out. And I also want to shout out not like the scene in general, but just the way that he holds up the exposition of Mysterio's character in the breakdown sequences where they're underground in the base and they're like, yeah, the flux capacitors are, you know, in the multiversal modes, and
loom.
the elementals are gonna, and you're like, oh, dude, I can't agree with you more.
I
like
believe
that. I love it, and yeah, my favorite scene is Jake Gyllenhaal.
It's like, don't ever apologize for being the smartest guy in the room.
Yes.
I love those little lines that just make all the difference, and knowing that they were fed in from some screenwriter from the other room.
Dude,
that's great.
The scene when they're going over the plan, and he's like, and then Mr. Beck, Mysterio,
And
like,
he gives him
corrects
that,
him.
he gives him that look like, oh, that's great.
Yep, good scene, Micah. Good
Yeah.
scene. Ethan,
I like the entire airport sequence at the beginning when they're at the airport.
Talking about Civil War?
No, I'm talking. No, not Civil War.
that's where my
I'm
brain
talking
went.
about
I'm not
this
gonna lie.
one where they're getting out of the plane. I think the humor and the situational comedy is at its best right there. And Ned's just, he's like, what is it, Dragon Slayer? What does Ned want to play? Some
Beast Slayer.
Beast Slayer.
And it's like literally him on the,
Yes.
it's just Ned on the screen.
Those bits really got me, and that's what really stood out this watch of the movie. Yes, I love Mysterio. Yes, I love Peter and MJ, but the teenage hijinks are what really made this movie shine for me this watch.
If this movie came out 6 months later, that dual headphone jack thing, like AirPods were coming out at that time, and people were like, AirPods will never take on. Like wireless earbuds, psh,
No way.
not me.
Not me.
Not me.
I'll go with the illusion sequence. I gotta go with it, man.
Over the bridge sequence.
Over the bridge. Well, I love those moments, but just technically impressive on this movie, I gotta go with that scene.
The visual of the snow globe on Mysterio's head is really, really great.
The Iron Man sequence. If you had been better, maybe he would still be alive. And he comes out of the grave, that Iron Man. I love that
If you had
sequence.
been better, just like the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you got to do better, Mr. Politician Man. You got to do better.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna get into it.
Another
But-
shout out. I love the theater sequence when they're rehearsing the projections, and he's like, "All right,
Oh yeah.
double the munitions."
Not quite my tempo.
Not quite my tempo.
That's what I thought of.
It's a
when I saw
reference.
it.
J.K. Simmons.
This is it, guys. It's the last time we're gonna be able to do this. Micah, give us a rundown.
now.
This is the last movie before
Our break.
Martin Scorsese's famous line.
Oh, yes.
October 2019, Martin Scorsese says that Marvel movies are theme parks. Now, this is going to be a teaser for our breakdown of our entire Marvel movie watch through, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, we will be asking the question, was Scorsese right? I wanted to get that out of the way before our scores. So, Spider-Man Far From Home, Rotten Tomatoes critic is a 90%. Rotten Tomatoes audience is a 95. Metacritic is a 69.
Whoa,
Nice.
nice.
Metacritic users is 7.5
Hold on, was
out
the
of 10.
audience score for this on Rotten Tomatoes a 95?
A 90. Oh, audience 95, yeah.
Holy cow.
IMDb 7.4.
Pretty impressive.
Letterboxd
Most impressive.
3.5 out of 5, giving us an average of 7.8 out of 10. 7.8 out of 10, putting it at 18th place for
Top 20.
internet. Yeah. A lot of Spider-Man movies are in the top 20 here. We have Far From Home coming at the bottom. Actually, Homecoming was 20th place. Far From Home was 18th place.
Wow.
Spider-Man 2 was 8th place. No Way Home is 4th place. Into the Spider-Verse 2nd place. And Across the Spider-Verse coming in at the top.
Wow.
Lots of Spider-Man movies up there. Will this rank
Dude,
the same
it was amazing.
in
Spider-Man
our
2.
infamous Hollywood Reporter ranking?
Oh boy.
Ooh.
For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, what are you doing? Guys,
On the
this is,
last episode.
we've been here a while. Hollywood Reporter put out an article, what was that, a year ago? Year ago now? 2 years ago? Listing every Marvel movie, including some non-MCU projects. And Spider-Man Far From Home,
I'm gonna miss this list.
is it higher or lower than No Way Home?
This is
Higher.
higher.
It's got to be higher.
This is higher?
Higher.
Yeah.
All right,
Gotta
all
be.
right. A little higher?
According to them.
They put it
according to them.
higher.
Little
according
higher?
to them.
Not me.
Spider-Man Far From Home is 22nd place
Wow.
on the Hollywood Reporter, 24th place belongs to No Way Home.
Wow.
That's what I
Ouch.
Ouch.
That's what I thought. Ouch.
So yeah, just underneath
No Way
the
Home is
Deadpool
trash anyway.
movies.
So
No Way Home is kind of not for me.
Buns.
Buns.
That's what I was gonna say.
Definitely not peak like Venom.
Babe. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, we broke up.
Does that mean
Oh, my MacBook's almost dead. Guys, this is it. We have to finish it up.
We gotta finish it up, guys. All right, let's go with our scores.
All right, so
Last scores, come on, of the Marvel movie marathon. 57.
I don't want this to end.
What's it gonna be?
Actually, I kind of do. I want to move on to our next project.
I'm very excited for what's to come. I'm not gonna lie. Ethan and I were talking about it last week.
Very excited for the way I'm going to be viewing these next movies.
Yeah. Very excited.
Out of a new lens. A new
Guys, we're moving
frame.
on too fast, okay?
You're right. Ethan.
Gotta give this a score.
Ethan, what do you got?
Could you do me the honor of just scroll down one tick on there? Okay.
Oh, hold on. I got you.
Perfect. That's all I need on the massive spreadsheet. So yeah, I really like this movie, guys. I think that Far From Home, like I said, opening, the most underrated Spider-Man movie, and to me, the most underrated Marvel movie we've had. And that is not to say that this movie is exceptional. That's not to say that this is great. But I just really hate the hate that this movie gets.
Hate the hate.
I hate the hate because I think what John Watts does with this is really fun. He tells a really fun story, and at the center, at its core, is also a really good Spider-Man story with good characters surrounding him, great relationships built, and a really good villain. And I mean, we got to talk about that spider sense sequence that he uses to ultimately take down Mysterio. Great sequence right there. I think there's a little bit in the middle where it loses me. I hate the bus stuff. I hate the Edith glasses could be critiqued, but I like what that symbolizes. And a big critique people throw this way is Tony Stark left the glasses to a dead teenage boy. You know what? How does that make sense? Well, the whole reason Tony fought in Endgame was because he saw the picture of Peter. Okay.
Not the whole reason, but a big portion of it.
A huge reason why.
Yes.
Why he fought in Endgame was for that. So that would be my answer to that critique. But no, I think it's a really solid film, and I do like this more than Homecoming. Where did I put Homecoming?
Ethan, you put Homecoming.
What did I give Homecoming out of 10?
A 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. I want to put this. I don't want to go 8 with this. I don't think it's quite an 8. You know what? Yeah, I do. Let's go 8.
Okay.
I like this at an 8. I think it is really solid film. It's not great in any way, but I think it does.
It's not great in any way.
It's not great
8
in
out of
any
10.
way, but it
Not
does
at all.
but it does so many things so well. It does a lot so well that I really enjoy this movie.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So an 8 is where I want to
Okay.
put this.
Mr. Het.
Spider-Man Far From Home. This is, I think, my second time watching this movie. And, both times I've been very the same about it. I feel like the beginning has some rough patches, the first half. But once you start getting into the Mysterio stuff, once you start delving into the characters and you get MJ and Pete's relationship going, you get Ned in there kind of third wheeling, but not really, he's there. He's a good wingman. And
Yeah, he is.
would I put it higher than Homecoming? I don't think so. I think for me, it's a lower movie. I did give Homecoming a pretty high score compared to you guys. Or at least compared to Ethan. I gave it a 7.8. Ethan, you gave it a 7.5. Ben, you gave it an 8.
Yeah.
I would give it a couple points lower, not too much lower. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Okay. I like it.
Middle of the road there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wait. 7.5 or was it 7.4? Let me double
You
check.
just said 7.5.
7.5. Does that lock it in? Uh-oh. Yeah,
Oh,
7.5.
no.
7.5. That's exactly where I want to put it. We're good. 7.5.
He's got it, folks. 7.5.
Okay, Ben.
Yeah, not quite the greatest Spider-Man movie in my opinion. Not quite the worst.
This is a great Spider-Man movie, in my opinion. Many people critique the fact that he goes off to Europe, but I actually really like that. I think it puts him in some cool scenarios. He gets naked, being one of them.
Ooh.
I think this Tom Holland is great. Zendaya is great. Jake Gyllenhaal is one of the best villains I think that we have seen on this Marvel movie marathon. His performance is great, and I think where this movie goes and what it sets up makes this even more special to me. But where it shines for me specifically in one of the best aspects is the relationship between Pete and MJ. I think their chemistry is great. The awkwardness, I love that they don't make it like they do in Amazing Spider-Man between them, where it's just very, it's like the cool kid getting with the cool girl, and it's like their writing is just, I don't know, the awkwardness really sells it and makes me root for these characters, and I think that is done really well. Special effects, really well done. I love seeing J. Jonah Jameson, and this is one of my favorites. I'm not gonna lie, I really like this
the whole
movie.
marathon.
And yes,
Really,
this is definitely in my top 20.
I think you undersold your excitement throughout this podcast. Then,
I probably did,
yeah.
but I don't really think I said almost anything negative about this movie either. So with that, I do like this better than Homecoming. I gave Homecoming an 8. I'm giving this an 8.5.
Oh,
What did just to satisfy my own itch, what did you give The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
8.5.
Oh my goodness.
that's right.
This is better than that.
Wow.
Easily.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm not
Well,
gonna
you
lie.
gave them both an 8.5, so you wouldn't solidify that one is better than the other with your score. If you went an 8.4 with this, I would believe you, Ben.
I would never ever do that.
See,
I only
that's
go
your
half
problem.
points.
Yep. See, your own scoring method has destroyed
But
you.
I
Ben.
can tell you which one I like more, and that is Amazing Spider-Man 2.
But his score doesn't reflect that, guys. Sorry.
No, my words reflect that.
Nope.
Wow. So,
Yep.
Ben with an 8.5, Ethan with a
8.
8, and me with a 7.5.
That's
That
a
gives us a clean
clean 8.
8 out of 10.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
we're cleanly at an 8.
Cleanly at
How
an 8.
averages work.
There it
right
is, right there.
Okay,
So,
and that puts us.
that puts us at 19th place.
Okay. All right.
Kicking Homecoming out of the top 20.
Oh.
Oh,
Do you want to hear our Spider-Man ranking while we've got it?
yes,
Yes.
I would love
All
to.
right. So, coming in first place, we've got Into the
Toby.
Spider-Verse, 5th place.
Yes.
Here,
Okay.
here, let me go to the screen.
Good,
Into the Spider-Verse is 5th place. Then we've got
well deserved.
Spider-Man 2.
Good.
Then we've got
What is places Spider-Man 2?
Far From Home. Oh, I don't know. 2nd place. 10th place.
Top 10.
Yeah.
It stayed in the top 10.
Top 10.
Guys.
Guys, Raimi, we'll freak out about that later, but
That is amazing.
Save that for later.
that's an
guys.
amazing Spider-Man right there.
That is.
So we've
amazing.
got In the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2, Far From Home. We've got Spider-Man. Those are both 19th and 20th
Wow.
place. That's
Far From
Raimi,
Home
Spider-Man
was
1.
Third.
Homecoming, 22nd place. Ouch. Amazing Spider-Man 2,
Yes.
24th
Okay.
place.
It's under the.
Spider-Man 3, 26th place. And coming in all the way in 41st
Holy
place.
yikes. The
Amazing
difference.
Spider-Man.
We hated that, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Going from 26 to 41.
Ouch.
Fun to look at our scores, guys.
And we're going to do that with a wrap-up video.
Same bad time.
Next week.
Well, we don't know
Or
when it's coming out.
I
would say
at some point.
There's
guys.
a lot we still have to do. We got to get our end of the year thoughts out, and that's going to be a fun one.
True.
The Multiverse Awards. I think that one is next on the docket. We've got some scheduling things. It's the holidays. There's a lot going on, but expect both of those. A wrap up with all of these scores. And I don't know if I've settled on if we get to change 3 of our scores yet. I don't know, because it might mess with the integrity of our list, but I'm still ironing out those. If you think that's a bad idea, let us know down in the comments below. But look forward to a Marvel movie marathon wrap up for this first half, this big chunk, because now it looks like Kang Dynasty is going to be delayed even longer. Is it even going to be Kang Dynasty at this point? Because as of us recording this, Jonathan Majors has been convicted guilty.
Speaking of
He's
post-credit scenes.
guilty. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Quantumania.
No bueno. So it might be a while until we do that, but we've certainly got a lot of other things planned in the meantime. So as we ring in this new year in 2024, we wish you a happy new year. Gentlemen, I wish you guys a happy new year.
Oh, thank you.
I'm very excited for where Multiverse
Oh,
Monologues
is this our New Year episode?
is going to take. It is.
Happy New Year's.
It absolutely is.
We made it.
I said that at the
At the
beginning,
end.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I just wasn't
So-
paying attention to you. I don't listen to you for half the.
Yeah, Michael.
podcast.
Dang. Ouch.
Don't worry, that's all
man.
podcast listeners. They don't listen to us half the time.
Hit me right here. But look forward to all of that as we go forward. It has truly been an honor
Yes.
going on this journey with you boys. This is the last Marvel movie we're going to talk about, but not
For a
definitely,
while.
definitely not the last Marvel movie because we got
Not ever.
We've got
Yeah.
4 peak Marvel films coming next year. Well, no, I should
year.
just say 3. I'm not really hyped for Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3 will be trash, but we got Kraven the Hunter,
Echo.
Venom 3,
I'm looking forward to Echo.
Echo, I
Morbius
actually
2,
am looking forward to. I'm not gonna lie.
Madam Web.
So we're gonna try. I really want to try and do more new stuff that comes
stuff,
out
yeah, okay.
in 2024
Fine,
because
fine.
we definitely made this a priority, and we're definitely gonna make our future marathons a priority too. But I wanna do more reviews for stuff coming out, new movies and stuff like that. So look forward to all of that in the new year. We wish you a happy new year. This is Ben Rayside.
This is Ned Leeds.
This is Night Micah.
Oh, signing off. We all hope you have an absolutely fantastic new year.
Dab. Hulk out.
Oh God.
Gotta go to a costume contest.